I did have like kind of some notes of some things that I've jotted from all the topics that I've seen online over the last few months. So I can go over those, but if anybody wanted to start with a question, we can go there too. Does anybody have anything off the top of their head they want to cover? Okay. And I mean, I'm going to do my best to answer questions. I don't know everything, you know. I do know quite a bit technically. I've been doing this for 30 some years. Um, so I want to share kind of like some experience of what I understand in that'll be applicable to this. So I did a lot of work with different papers and different like print qualities and speeds, right? Because I think that there's a lot of push to say, hey, you need to have, why am I breaking up so much? Um,
That's a good question. I mean, I can at least still hear you when you're freezing and going stop
all
motion.
right, that's fine. You don't need to see me
So
move. I'm gonna drop one of these, see if that helps.
yeah, maybe if you want to drop video for a little bit and turn that on later.
Yeah, yeah,
Technical
that's fine.
difficulties for the technical guy.
It's the Wi-Fi in this building. I'll blame the Wi-Fi. But I think that actually that that's a perfect point that we'll get to in a minute here. But so okay, so
Yeah,
I'll,
that's
I'll
fine.
tell you, I spent a lot of time kind of doing some testing with different papers, different print qualities, different speeds, and at one point in time with what we're trying to print, especially considering these are small photos coming from people's phones most of the time, right? Um, 300 DPI at normal speed is indistinguishable from a higher DPI at slower speeds. Um, the paper makes all the difference in the world. So making sure that you have a good photo paper is key. And I think that most people that I've read, and Rachel, you can test this too, that a thin photo paper probably works best when it comes to pressing into the magnets themselves. So I think that that's kind of the combination that you use here is a thin photo paper. And sometimes you'll see like high glossy or regular glossy or whatever else. That's not as important as making sure that you have a good photo paper. And oftentimes when I see people kind of talking online about, hey, my photos are looking really bad, it's because they're using photo paper, but they're setting it up on their device, on their print settings to be normal paper. And I'll do a walkthrough on my phone of one of the most frustrating things about I'm a big Apple fan, but there's one thing that's really frustrating when using the Apple. So like I said, I burned like half a stack of paper going through different DPIs, different quality is DPI is dot per inch. I should probably explain what that is too. Is that's the saying like how many little droplets of ink are put in an inch of the paper, and 300 DPI is half the ink that 600 DPI would be. It takes up the same amount of space, but it is kind of like you consider like higher resolution at the higher DPIs. But for what we're doing, I've really found that 300 DPI is kind of the space you want to be, which is essentially normal photo printing, if this makes any sense. Um, Another one that I wanted to cover was the printer drivers, and I know that this has
Hey,
been several times. Somebody got a question?
yeah, can I add something to what you just said?
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as the thickness or thinness of the paper, it isn't even just what you said, that it's better. It's actually usually required. You can actually void your warranty on your machine or your unit, depending on where you got it from, if you're using paper that is too thick, meaning it's not what it's even intended to punch or press. The one that we have, it says strongly recommend paper under 42 pounds. If you use paper over 42 pounds, it may get jammed. Paper over 50 pounds may jam or damage the machine and require service and repair. So I would recommend everyone double check your paperwork warranty instructions with the machine that you got to press your magnets, and make sure your paper is within that. So it's not even just like a, personal preference of people. It's necessary, if that makes sense. Okay.
And then I mean just to share, you have a what machine do you have?
The one I'm reading from right now, this is for our Titan machine, but
Okay.
it doesn't I mean they're all going to require something similar. So I would just double check that you know what yours is.
Okay, thank you. I wonder if I can go back to, let me see if I can turn my video back on. No, 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 no. Okay. Next thing that I see often, and this is only for I think people that are using Canva, but this is an important thing. The conversation about CMYK versus RGB. Now this I'm gonna get like nerdy technical on you for a minute so that it really makes sense as to what this is. Um, CMYK is cyan, yellow, magenta, and black, BLACK, right? And that is essentially when you look at most of the printers that we have, those are like the four different inks that you have. So CMYK is literally when the printer head is coming by and it's dropping droplets, it's telling you exactly how much C, how much M, how much Y, and how much K needs to be done in every little spot dropped on the paper to print, right? So you would naturally think that, okay, well, if my Canva says store stuff in CMYK, then that's what I should be storing, saving and trying to use. And that unfortunately is totally wrong. And here's why. CMYK, the reason you want to do it from Canva is if you're going to like a professional print shop where their printers are designed to take the CMYK directly from the file that you're bringing, all of our printers, the Epsons, everything that we're hooking on our computers here, use RGB, which is red, green, blue. It's the same type of pixels that happen on our screens. So our screens are actually made up of little red, green, and blue pixels that come on and off at different spots. So if you were actually to look at the data, you would see like 252, 128, 127 for the red, green, blue of each little pixel on your screen. The stuff that you print does that same thing. I told you I'm getting nerdy here. The reason why CMYK is a bad thing for this is because your printer is automatically going to do the conversion from from RGB to CMYK. And if you save something in CMYK and then convert and then send it to your printer has to convert it to RGB and then back to CMYK. And not to get like in the maths, but you can literally make it look worse because the precision is lost in going back and forth. So I know that a lot of people are like CMYK is better, blah blah. No, it's not. CMYK for the systems that we have, unless you work at a print shop, in that case, you know the answer is CMYK. Don't save your Canva stuff in CMYK. When you're using our software, you don't have to worry about that. It's here for you. But I just want to make sure that people understand that if they're using Canva. Okay. And then the last thing, now this is going to be kind of difficult to try to do from a technology perspective. So bear with me on this, but I'm trying to show you Wi-Fi Direct. So Wi-Fi Direct is what we use at all of our shows. Boy, I'm sorry about the 3D nature of this. That we use at all of our shows, that essentially we are printing from our phone and connecting the phone to the printer directly. Now, Wi-Fi Direct, I think, is a really bad name because it makes you feel like, hey, it's the same thing as Wi-Fi. It's using the same wireless technology, but the biggest thing is that you don't need a network. So what I have here is my cell phone hooked up, showing me, and talking to the printer. The reason that I'm doing it this way is because for cell phones, you basically have two different networks. You've got your cellular network and you've got your printer, your Wi-Fi network. When you use Wi-Fi Direct, it takes your device off of any Wi-Fi network you're on. So this is harder to use with your like your printer and your laptop if your laptop doesn't have a cellular connection, which most of ours don't. This is much more suited for a cell phone type setup, but what I still want to walk you through. So I'm going to switch. Is this making sense to anybody? Please, if it doesn't make sense, ask questions and I will answer for you.
I think you're going a little fast, but I mean, I'm sure people can pipe up and ask, and there's no dumb
Y-
question.
Yeah, I'm listening, but I have an HP printer with an HP Instant Ink subscription,
Okay.
so I'm not sure. I'm gonna see if this will work. But anyway, maybe you have some.
Okay. I will see if I can help with that.
Should we take a poll and see who has what printers that's with us tonight, Joe?
We can. I don't think that it's going to matter just yet for this particular thing.
I saw some people posting about Starlink for shows, and I didn't
Oh,
know what your opinion on that is compared to Wi-Fi Direct or
What is
this is
Starlink?
something very good
Starlink
question.
is basically satellite-based internet. So
Oh,
you have this little dish that you point at the sky, and it's one of Elon's many businesses, and it's fantastic. But
But it's also expensive though.
no, it's not too expensive. I think that like
No?
Starlink is basically about the same amount as residential for it's the same thing for residential if you were sitting at still, but the nice thing about Starlink is that you can also get a mobile plan where you would take it with you on the road. We use this on the road sometimes for other stuff, and you can get really great speeds connected. The problem with Starlink is it doesn't. I mean, you have to have the dish outdoors looking at the sky. So if you were trying to use it where you're indoors, you'd have to have some way to be like really close to a window or something, and then have all your equipment outside. But I
That
mean,
was
Starlink
again a
stuff,
large thing of what I was trying to say between indoor shows or outdoor shows. If you're in
yeah,
a elementary school gym, you're not exactly going to be able to point that at the sky or something, right? So
yep,
yeah,
yep, absolutely.
an
Okay,
important thing to notice.
hold
All
on.
right, we are able to see your phone screen there.
Okay, so this is what, let me see if I can figure out how to go through here. I'm going to show you a couple different ways I was playing with before. Um, I think it's settings, network settings. And then when you go to Wi-Fi setup, again, I think this is an awful name. You see how it says Wi-Fi recommended or Wi-Fi direct, right? So they're even trying to push you away from Wi-Fi direct, which, okay, fine, but that's not always the way that you want to go. So in this case here, I've clicked on start setup and it has this whole bunch that I'll tell you about it. And specifically, the part that you really want to notice is that any smart devices that use Wi-Fi direct will automatically be disconnected from the network. So if your laptop is connected to Wi-Fi and then you connect to Wi-Fi direct, it's no longer connected to Wi-Fi, meaning it can't get to the internet. Okay. That's why connecting from a smartphone makes a lot more sense. So what you'll see here is there's some kind of information here. Da, 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 da. This is all nerdy stuff that you're not really particularly worried about, um, except that there's two different things I want to point out. If you click other methods, it's got iOS and other devices here. So if I were to like click on iOS, hopefully this won't take over, but you see that there's this QR code here. Scanning that QR code will automatically populate it. The other one is to say other OS devices, and I'm going to write this down. Oh, I don't need to write it down. It's right in front of my screen. Oh no, 531064996. Hold on a second. 531064996. Okay, so I just wanted to again go over where we're talking here, right? From the beginning here, we are going to settings. We're going to network settings. We're going to Wi-Fi LAN or Wi-Fi setup, Wi-Fi direct. Make sense? And then we hit complete. Now, I'm going to switch from sharing my screen here, hopefully.
So, Joe,
Yep.
is this like similar to pairing your phone to like your car?
I think that's a good way to look
Like
at it. Yeah, I'm trying
the
to.
code is matching up the two devices so they're going to talk and play nice together
Yes,
in a
yes,
not
right.
techie way.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Okay. And then when you say it won't be on the internet anymore, your phone will still work like a phone and you can still like do other things on your phone, right? Like I don't want people to be confused that like you won't be able to use your phone anymore.
Your phone is fine. You won't be able to use your laptop if you're connected, right? Because when you're on your phone, you've got your cellular connection and the Wi-Fi connection. Hopefully that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
So two questions. What is the difference between Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi Direct? I know you already kind of touched on that a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure because I feel like you went a little
Pretty quickly
fast
through
when
that.
we were looking at the physical printer there.
Let me come back to that. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm going in just normal Wi-Fi, right? So now that Wi-Fi direct is up, you'll see that I accidentally hit the wrong thing. You see how it says Direct IR Epson AT 8500 right in the middle there? This is now basically my printer acting like a network.
So you're saying it kind of provides its own Wi-Fi network on your phone here, and you can
That's the
connect to
direct
that?
part. It provides its own Wi-Fi network. 531064996. I feel like I'm making this look harder than it actually is. This is the longest route to get here. If you were to scan that QR code, it would pop right up. But you'll see it looks like it's just joining a Wi-Fi network. Okay. Now I'm connected to Wi-Fi. Now, what I wanted to show you, I'm going to fire up Gridget so we can see. But here I am in my Gridget machine. I'm going to go, let's see here. I've got here, let's go ahead and do, oh, look at there. So I'm going to download this PDF, and then we're going to say that I want to go ahead and print, right? And this is essentially what they're doing all the time through um, uh, Confetti Betty when they're on the shows. That everything is run from their phone. So this is what I want to really get at. You'll see that first of all, it pops right up. The printer is listed right here. So the technical part that is hard to really explain is that my wireless printer is connected directly to my phone. There's no Wi-Fi network or any other network between them. It's kind of like what you had said, Rachel. It's like Bluetooth, like pairing your phone up. But when I'm in here
So it's
now,
not like using your hotspot. I'm sorry. It's not like using your hotspot from your phone to your printer. This is almost like the opposite way from your printer to your phone.
you're absolutely right. This is not using your hotspot. And okay, I'm gonna talk about that now that you brought that up too. That's a good idea.
That was gonna be my other question too as well. I wanted to make sure it wasn't like feeding off of your phone's network and connection to pair the two. I guess that's good that we covered that and
Yeah,
can
yeah.
make it
Okay, I'll explain that in a minute. Yeah,
sure.
great question. So let me get back to this. So you'll see that up here, and this is just the iPhone, right? But you'll see that up here, I've got presets, and right now it's set to none, and you can do like color, black and white, color fine. I haven't figured out a way to make my own preset in here, but I want to show that we'll go ahead and stick with default settings for a minute, and I'm going to come down here. Paper size is US letter. And this is for this particular printer. As much as I love this printer, it's one of the most frustrating things about this printer is that normally you can just leave it in auto select. But for some reason, no matter how many times you say, hey, there's only paper in like the tray and not in the back feed, it always goes to the back feed. So you'll sit there and hit print, and it's like, I don't know, what to do here. So we go to the main tray. Did we see this here that we're talking about? You've got rear tray is what it kind of goes back to all the time, or rear tray, manual tray. I go to main tray and then media type. This is the important part here. Is you go into like, sorry, photo glossy paper, photo high paper. It depends on which one you have, but it needs to be a photo paper. And this is where I'm talking about. See how there's draft, normal, and best? Normal for what we're doing is just fine. That is the 300 DPI. So once I'm done with that, I can just double check that I've got my media quality, my size, my print color, whatever else, and then I would just hit print in the top right corner and it would start printing. Okay. Does this make sense? I can go over it again. I want to make sure that everybody gets what I'm saying
Yeah, you
here.
want to run through the menus real quick there one more time because I
Sure.
see how you got to the PDF here, but I just
Whatever, yep, no problem. Whatever software you're using, in this case here, obviously we're using Gridget because it's the best. You click on, you get your download, and this is whatever software you're using. And from here, I'm going to click the little arrow down at the bottom here that is like the share button. Okay. Scroll down to print right here. And that brings up this screen. And again, this is the frustrating part. You'll notice that we all sat through here and went through, hey, selecting all these things and went right back to auto feed and auto whatever. So down here in media and quality at the bottom, I'm going to select this and I'm going to say feed from is going to be my main tray because that's where I have my paper. And then media type, I want to do photo or photo glossy, either one. And then print quality, I'll leave it normal, right? And then up here, you just want to make sure, is it in color, paper size is US letter. But if I would hit printer, then print, and then I would get my PDF out of here.
Can I point out that having the ability to print on normal saves a lot of time and it's not giving up the quality, and we tested that a lot. So If you have a line, which we usually do, you are able to process these faster, make your magnets faster, and they still look awesome and people are super happy, but you're not sitting there waiting several minutes more because you selected best, if that makes sense.
And you end up using a lot more ink by doing best.
I have
So
a question about printing. I'm using Canva for my template, and when I upload from my phone, when I do the download, it downloads a PNG file. Should I be downloading a PDF instead? Does that give me a better quality?
that's a great question. I did a lot of research into this to try to find that out myself. What I found is that the PDF is a better printer friendly format, specifically when you're trying to sit there and do like, oh, and that was one of the things I wanted to show you. Thank you for bringing this up. All of these printers are so smart now that they try to be helpful. When you get your Canva template and you hit print, you should be printing it at 100%. So let me do that again. Let's see if I can see in here.
That's funny. My Mac defaults to 97%, and that's my perfect percentage for the templates that I found out now.
And see, I think that that's what happens is that people
Yes.
are
hmm
making templates that kind of like fit in this weird funky thing, right?
Yes.
So what if I were like to really bore you, I could go in and show you the code that is showing you that this PDF, that photo is exactly 2 inches plus the width of the bleed edge, right?
Bleed.
So you can take this anywhere in the world and print it at 100%, and it will be 2 inches. And so what people have been doing with these templates is saying, my computer is defaulting to this thing, so I've got this other template that is adjusting for that, if it makes any sense.
And
And
or
whoever
the
asked that question, I did used to print in the PNG from Canva, but it did not print well. The color was not sharp. So when you go to download and the Canva recommends one, I forget what it's called. I'm not in front of my computer, but I do the PDF for printing. I don't do what Canva recommends. I do the one, it says something and then printing. That's the one I choose every time I print from Canva.
Have you tried just the
Thank
normal
you.
PDF and not even without printing?
Yeah, no, I've either done the PNG or the one it recommends, and I do not like how that comes out. It's not as crisp and clear, but the PDF printing option, that is my best color option that comes out.
Okay. What I would suggest is try the standard PDF one as well, because I would be interested to see if the PDF for printing is actually doing that CMYK that thing I was talking about. So your regular PDF might look even better.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Even though it sounds backwards from what I'm telling you, but that's what I'm saying is like when you say PDF
Mhm.
for printing, what I'm guessing is that means you can take that PDF to your professional printer
Right.
and they would
Yeah.
print directly in
Or
And
CMYK.
here
print
I'm
one.
thinking it's coming out like
I
beautiful and it
know.
could be even better.
I know. It's because it's a bad name. It's a bad name.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk hotspot real quick. Let me switch back to me because I'm gonna use my hands a lot, and obviously I can't talk without my hands. See, the production value is just like 0. Okay, you need to think about the networks as there's two different networks. There's a cellular network where the AT&Ts and the T-Mobiles and the Verizons of the world have all these towers up there that are giving you internet connectivity. And then there's the Wi-Fi networks where you in your house have this box that's connected to Verizon or Comcast or whatever your cable provider is, your internet provider is. They're bringing the internet all the way through a wire into that box, and then the box turns into Wi-Fi. Okay, those are basically the two different types of networks. So when you are in a place where, let's say a gym, and your cellular connection is not great, your hotspot is essentially using that exact same cellular connection. And so
Right.
I don't know, I can't tell you I've done a lot of like Faraday cage tests here, but I would be willing to bet my dollar that says that the engineers that are working on these cellular phones spend a lot more time than the engineers that are working on the cellular radios that go inside those hotspots. And all that hotspot is doing is converting that cellular to a Wi-Fi, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when you fire up the hotspot in your phone, you're doing the same thing that hotspot thing is doing, where it sits there and it's saying, okay, I'm going to basically be the bridge between that cellular network and the Wi-Fi network. Sometimes they work, and I'm kind of surprised by it because it's not like it has a better antenna. The amount of engineering efforts that go into these phones is way higher than the hotspots. What you're doing now is you're getting on a Wi-Fi network that's connecting to the cellular network, right? And if you do, like a hotspot is basically the only option if you're trying to use your laptop to a printer, because now you basically have to have those two things
Okay.
on the same network. So
Right.
your Wi-Fi hotspot is acting as that Wi-Fi router for your printer and for your laptop. And that's pretty much the only option you have in that case, because having a hotspot, whether it be a box that you go buy or whether it be that you use the hotspot on your phone, it's still the same thing. But your Wi-Fi, your laptop and your printer need to both connect to that network. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes. Isn't there some kind of stick you can buy, but that's probably also running off a cellular network, right? There's some kind
Yeah.
of, I
I
think,
mean, basically, there's
stick.
only two options, right? It has to come in cellular or it has to come in Wi-Fi. And
Okay.
so that stick, I don't know what the stick is, but it might be like a higher gain cellular. And in that case, that might be good. Um, I think there's a lot of confusion about it because this gets, again, like we talked earlier, technology jargon that makes it sound like it's better and it really isn't. Or just we kind of hear that, like we heard that so and so used a hotspot and so it's better than your phone. Would be willing to bet that it isn't, but if it works and people are happy, that's fine. What I was showing you here is to say that essentially, like for instance, we could pretend this happens. We're now in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and there is no cellular, and there is no Wi-Fi. There's nothing, and I need to print to my printer for some reason, and I don't have a cord. Wi-Fi Direct would work there. Like basically, my laptop and my printer would work together, so I could print something on my printer. Like, there's
That is
no
a good way to put it. On top of already understanding a little bit, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. You don't there if you're not connected to the internet. Now, that doesn't help us because there needs to be internet for our service to work. Otherwise, people can't find their pictures and give them to you. Another thing that I want to make sure that this has nothing to do with printing, but this is I think a frustrating thing in places where cellular connectivity isn't great. There's a lot of times where people might be looking on their phones and like, hey, I have this photo, but it's not sending to you. Our phones are really great at showing us tiny little versions of the pictures that are actually stored off in the cloud really big. So when I look at a tiny little photo and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna share this with Christy, and I click the button, it looks like I should just be sending it from my phone and everything would be fine, but it's actually downloading it from the internet and then uploading it back to wherever Christy's using as well. So if there's bad internet connectivity, that's gonna cause a problem.
Can I share a few life hacks we've done, uh, guys, with we've done several shows that were in big buildings, in schools, in high school gyms, civic centers, churches, things like that, that are huge cinder block walls. Um, and not every time, but occasionally we've have had where people are so excited and they want to send us their photos and it's not going through. A couple different times it was as simple as the customer going toward a window or a door. Even when we cracked the door open that was near our booth, the photos all just started going like mad and it worked and solved it. It was like Christmas time and people were freaking out. It made all the difference, even if they just walked a few feet over by the window, by a door. If we're using the system we're using, the customer can actually walk away and upload the photos at their leisure. They will, when they're finished, we will get it and we can print them. So that works awesome as well. That if they have to walk away, if they have to run home, whatever. But get creative if you have to with how to get those to upload if the service in the building you're in is a problem.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things
Thank
I think that
you.
we had planned on talking about in the webinar we didn't get to was when requesting information from the show that you're going to or the market you're going to, like ask for a spot near a window or a door for that reason, because if you're in the center of a big building,
Okay. So I have
um,
another question. With the
go ahead.
Canva standard, there's an option for compressed PDF, flatten PDF. Do you recommend using any of those options? Compress or flatten PDF?
I would probably say stay away from compressed. because that's when you're sitting there and you're
Okay.
trying to. So what compression is doing is like taking a spot. Let's say, like I have, I'm sorry, Rachel, I have you in the highlight, and I need my hands to talk. Um, like let's say there's a spot on your photo that's this big, and then it's trying to get like
Mhm.
this part here and this part here. The compression will take and kind of go, all right, well, that's an average of this color, and get
Okay.
uncompressing, we'll lose that. The flattening, I don't think will have any impact, because essentially what flattening is doing is like the PDF can have these different layers that you might be able to turn on and off, like Canva has, right? Where you got an overlay in a photo and maybe a background and stuff like that. Flattening just kind of turns that into one image, and since we're printing it, flattening should be just fine.
Oh, it's one image already. Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of,
Okay.
well, what it would do is it would take like that, if you had several layers, like the overlay, the image itself, a background, and it just kind of turns it into one thing. And since we're printing it and we're not modifying it anymore, that's fine. I think I've covered all of the things I had written down. So any other questions that I can try and help answer?
So you sell a project. Did you develop the Gridget widget? Did you
Yeah,
say you
Gridget was
developed
something
that?
that my wife, who was just talking, she got into this and was really excited, and then started looking at the software options that were around back then, and they were pricey. And they also were, well, there was either Canva, which was kind of what a lot of people are using, but a lot of manual effort, or the other software that
And
was put.
misinformation for that matter, which is a large reason why we're here. And CMYK and the stuff like you were saying is not everyone
Yeah,
knows how to do the printer and
yeah,
everything with Canva too, right? So
yeah.
And
So
we covered this a little bit the last webinar, but I love Canva. For my other business, we use Canva all the time. We make all kinds of fun, awesome, creative things with Canva. We found that Canva, especially at an event or at a market, was not conducive to both, time. It was too slow, and we also had like too much margin for error, where when we were grabbing a photo and dumping it in, it would go over the border, it'd get cut off, it would lock up, things like that. So I love Canva. I just don't love it for making magnets, especially at an event, if that makes sense.
Rachel, I
Sorry.
totally understand what you're saying because when we first started, I would have the customers text me and then I would airdrop it to my laptop. And then for certain pictures that they sent, it didn't fit in my square. So then what I was doing, I was then uploading that image to Google Slide that I had preset for a 2x2, putting it in there and then giving it a border, then downloading that, send it back to the template. It was so much time, like time was wasted doing that. And I try to tell them before they text me, please send me, you know, a portrait picture. Like landscape photos have the potential to cut off whoever is on the left or right of the picture. The thing I love about Gridget, that responsibility is off of me. And
mhm.
now the customer will choose what they want in the magnet. So they can choose who they want cut off. And then I've actually seen it live where they're like, oh no, this picture doesn't work.
Yeah.
Let's choose another picture. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I just love how they can see that in live time.
Hmm.
And that's not something I'm worrying about anymore.
instead
Yes,
of a bunch of
totally.
back and forth through
Yes.
email or another day, or it's all right there. Yeah.
And Christy, just for the record, we haven't paid you to be a spokesperson.
Yeah, no paid promo there.
Um,
No, you
But
haven't.
which
but
another
for
thing, like, is anyone still looking to buy a printer? Does everyone have the printer they're already using right now, or is anyone just starting?
Well, I already had an HP OfficeJet 8030, and so I mean, I've got $2,500 into this. I'll probably get the Epson 8500 or whatever it is at some point, but I don't want to drop another $500-600 right now till I see. I haven't even, you know, I have sold two small orders right now just to my friends. So
Sure.
I think I'm 3 weeks into this. I'm trying to figure out my website, my Instagram, and all that jazz.
that is
So,
Yeah.
that
but
is
this seemed
exactly
really
why we're
helpful because,
we're we're throwing all this info out 100%.
Well, let
yeah,
me,
when you,
so one little tidbit I do want to say, so even if it's for future reference for you, like Joe mentioned, we understand the full, like, financial investment to get started. is a lot before you get that, return. And so I'm gonna share our little, tip that we did is we did get the Epson 8500. We didn't get it new. We bought it on
Wow. Okay.
Marketplace.
How much?
We got it for 300. But it was
Okay.
had barely been used. So, one suggestion for, future people watching this or whatever is you can go into Marketplace and you can search for items and like get updates, or the more you look at them, they'll pop up. When you search something, then you keep seeing that same kind of thing all the time. So, I think everyone thinks they have to get a brand new one, and there's plenty of people where they thought they were going to start doing a business or doing a crafting thing, and then they get into it and they're like, forget it, I'm not doing this, or I don't have time anymore. And the machine might be used a handful of times. The one we got had the manual, had all the ink, extra ink, all that. We had to drive to go get it, but it was totally worth it. So just another option that I think there's like a lot of gatekeeping and perfection going on the social media. You don't have to get a brand new one. We love that it has transport
Good tip.
mode. Is, for that good to go to events because the ink won't like spill out and stuff like that. But yeah, if you have a printer that's working for you, that's awesome too.
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned about the instant ink subscription because I do need Wi-Fi for that. So I'm gonna have to test it out and see what happens. But worst comes to worst, I probably am not going to be doing too many indoor events. So hopefully and I live in a highly populated area, so hopefully the internet connection will be okay. But
Yeah,
anyway, thank you so much. This has
sure.
been very helpful.
Oh, good.
Good.
And
And
Were
and
so
you
go
listen,
ahead. Are you gonna plug your are you gonna plug your Gridget widget too? Because uh
I was
I
going to
mean,
talk
isn't
about it
that
a
the
little
point
bit.
of this webinar?
no, no.
No,
And I know we're weird because of that, but no. We want you using our product. And we think our product's the best. We work really hard to make it the best, but we want to support you in doing your business. So if you are using one of the other competitor products and want help with that, we'll help you there too. That's part of what this group that Dylan put together is about. If you want to try Gridget, there
I was gonna
happens to
say
be
that if you want to try that at events, it's nice, and we made it for the person that is not doing shows that often. We made it the pricing model, so it's based for I'm only doing shows once every 3 months, whatever. But we tried to orient it to the magnet maker who spent a lot. I don't see any return yet. I want to get into this, but it's difficult. We made it for that type of person, and we
yeah,
want to keep it that way. And that's a lot of the reason why we're handing out the information. We want to give it to the people that have already spent so much money on the physical aspect of it and haven't seen a return. So that is, yeah, that's why I made the group. We did that last webinar. If you didn't watch that one, I would definitely recommend going to do that. Because for markets and in-person shows, I feel like we crammed a lot of good info into that. But also at the same time, yeah, if you check out Gridget and want to try it, it's
Another thing,
so
Dylan, is mention how the pay model is unique.
yeah,
You're only paying for what you use.
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're only
So Lenore, we can stick around. I can walk you through. I did just put the link and the code on there right now. And Christy's been using it quite a bit too recently. I've got a new version coming out for Christy that hopefully I'll be sharing tomorrow.
I'm excited.
One
I'm
thing I
I'm
wanted to
pumped. I
ask,
think it looks pretty cool.
but what are the other things we could talk about, discuss with ourselves, and then maybe do another one of these, and hope to get more info out about it in events or magnet making
First
or
of all,
websites or anything.
where are you posting this? Because I don't know how I found out about this webinar, but
A
I think it
perfect
was on the
question.
Magnet Maker Studio. Yeah, where are you
Probably.
posting it?
So I posted this in a few different groups. I started a group specifically for people just getting into this and people looking to get into the event space. So I've been posting there. It is called the Magnet Market Strategy Society. Did I nail it?
You did.
Woo!
The Magnet
A crazy
Maker
mouthful.
Strategy. Wait a minute. Say that again.
Society. Yes, it's a whole mouthful. We had to write it down and
That's
hold
fine,
that on the
Lily.
camera last time. Yeah, so that is the group that I've been posting this in, posting Gridget stuff every once in a while. That is a space that I want people to come and show their banners or display that they're new and it's their third week or whatever.
We are also in the process right now, Lenore, of one of the things that I think is tough about Facebook is that okay, we put the webinar out there. You got to go find it on YouTube. We put a checklist together. I don't know if you got that. We put it together a
No.
checklist. Okay, so we'll make sure to get that to you after this. We've got basically like a new lead checklist. We're going to take this video. What Dylan and I are putting together is a page of all of the different content that we're creating, so it's just out there on the web, and you can go there because it's hard to find this stuff on Facebook when the topic has gone by, right? So we're putting together kind of this archive of all this information that we're sharing as well.
Great. Super helpful. Thanks.
You bet. Yeah, and if you have
Oh,
any
I
other
tried your trick for printing for the Canva issue
yeah,
that you told me about,
yeah,
and
we tried out.
I tested it out, and you are correct. This is awesome because now I can print. I was always choosing best when I printed. I
Yeah,
was doing glossy paper and best or high quality, whatever setting I got. But now I downloaded it as just a regular PDF and I did not choose best, and it's fine. It prints exactly how my best does with
yeah,
the other way I was telling you how I did for PDF printing.
right.
So yeah, Canva gives a couple different options for that, but I was doing the PDF print. And
Yeah.
I think you're right. That was for something, not
I
me.
think it does that CMYK thing, which
Yeah.
yeah, they're
It,
just I mean it's an amazing tool that can do so much, but that
mhm.
it's confusing.
And when would that be beneficial to me to choose that one? What is that for?
So if you were going to an actual print shop down the store or down
Uh,
the road, like let's say you made your banner or something,
right.
okay, they will actually use CMYK. And so you can bring them RGB and they would have to convert it, but CMYK is saying this is exactly what I was looking for. The RGB can still that, but it literally is the native format of what you're sending. Oh, there was one last thing I want to talk about, and I don't know if it's something that we've had to deal with here. I did write down printer drivers, and this is I don't know if you guys are Windows users or Mac users, but this impacts both. And I can tell you that this is another source of frustration. When you get your Epson's like, here's the software to go install for Epson, and you install the Epson software, or you get your HP and you install the HP software. This happens both on Windows and Mac. The interesting thing is that most Macs don't need that software. But you can get in there and the printer driver, like if you see a printer listed like 3 or 4 times when you go to print, that might be the Mac version of the printer and the Epson version of the printer. It might seem like the Epson driver is better, and it's not necessarily the case either. Like sometimes just simply doing AirPrint or doing the Mac printer is kind of tuned right because they do it between the two. Um, Epson can do again. It's one of those really powerful things to have the printer driver to be able to do more things that you don't have to do in this case. I mean, in the end, we're printing cell phone photos on photo paper effect magnets, right? And so 300 DPI, the standard printer driver is correct, if that makes sense. Okay. Well, Dylan, that our short meeting
I
didn't
mean,
go.
hey, good. I'm glad we got some questions in there, and if we were even able to help out one person and talk about it, we have achieved our goal here. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any more questions or anything we can cover? I still feel like I could maybe think about other content pools that we could talk about or put another one of these together.
Christy, I'm going to
Gridget.
put you on this. Go ahead, Lenore.
Oh, I just gonna say I'm gonna do my first event next month. So after that, I mean in April. So
Woo,
after that, I might have more questions. But right now,
perfect.
the big thing was how am I gonna get my photos to my printer if the Wi because I don't want to run my hotspot all day. But
Yep.
if I have to, I have to. So
Well,
anyway,
if
but
you
I do have a
try out Gridget,
generator, so that I had to
what kind of phone do you have?
go ahead. What?
What kind of
I have
phone?
an iPhone 15.
Okay, try out Gridget.
iPhone
Tell me what you
15.
think. It's
Okay.
you'll be able to print right straight from your phone. Um,
Yeah, that's what
and
I do now. I have the Canva app on my phone. I print right from my phone. And honestly, from my laptop, I have a Windows laptop. sometimes it doesn't communicate properly with my printer. And I have to turn the Wi-Fi on and off. It's a big pain. Like I don't want to have to print from my, lots of times I'll email stuff to myself and print it from my phone just because it's such a pain
Yeah.
sometimes for my printer to communicate with the printer. I mean, my laptop to communicate with the printer. But with the phone, there's no problem at all.
Lenore, can I ask what kind of event are you doing?
It's a good question. Yeah.
Well, it's a small event because I want to get my feet wet and test the waters. It's called a family market pop-up, and it's, 20 minutes from my house. It's on a Sunday afternoon, and so I thought it's small enough because I was thinking I wanted to do the county fair in July, and I thought, you know what, there's no way I'm ready for a county fair.
It
So
sounds
I
like
need
a
to get
great
my feet
starter, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
some small markets. And I live in Southern California, so there's a lot of different options,
Yeah.
farmers markets and all that.
Okay. Well, make sure we definitely want to get you the market checklist. I think will be super helpful for you for the
Yeah.
first one,
Sounds
or
like
you
it.
can message or write in the group if you have questions, leading up, like what about this or I forgot about that. So, let us know. Or if you have questions, if you try the demo, because it really is honestly a lifesaver compared to doing it the Canva way. And I'm only saying that because I know from experience. But yeah, let us know how we can help. But that sounds like a perfect one to get started. And then you're gonna be hooked and love it and see everyone's fun pictures and all the cute grandmas and weddings and baby pictures and dogs. And it's so much fun to hear everyone's stories and see people get excited with their orders.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
But yeah, I mean, I think we're in a good spot there. I guess for the conveying that it is actually useful and we're not just selling some garbage. Christy is someone that is using the product, have no actual association, and is just also a magnet maker. So I'm glad that we have a little bit of praise from someone when we can. I'm happy that Ginger was able to
I love it.
say the same thing about us for the bride mode that we haven't really done too much or coined yet. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
you guys
I'm
also have to know, like, when I have trouble and email you, you get back to me so fast. And I really appreciate that because sometimes you're in the thick of it and you're like, oh my goodness. And you guys respond so fast. So I'm very appreciative toward that.
You're
I'm
welcome.
also monitoring the group a lot as much as possible. Try to keep that active. So if you have any questions again or any comments that you want to reach out to anybody in that group. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that's a good point to cut it. So I'm glad we got to cover this, and I hope that you guys got some info or clarity out of printer, technical, ink, whatever. I think Wi-Fi Direct was confusing me before today, and I still got some clarity out of that. So thank you very much for breaking that down and explaining it to us on multiple cameras. And I'm glad we got to sit in a few different rooms and show this to everybody.
Oh, I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to share before you go. I do not do the Wi-Fi direct. I do the direct cable hookup from my Mac to the printer. So there is no chance for error because we do go inside creepy gyms, we're outside. So I just know that they're always going to work together.
And then how are you getting connectivity to the laptop? Are you
A portable hotspot I bring.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's been very good. That's worked out for us. And we had trouble in the beginning, because I was trying to print from my computer and it just wasn't working. And then I got the MacBook Pro that was printing hieroglyphics. I figured out the issue with that. So we're good. And I use that cable. I mean, I do have it set up. I can print from my phone,
Yeah.
but I just still choose to take that cable with me.
Yeah. I mean, you can't beat a cable.
Right.
Yeah.
Old school.
Right.
Where are you guys located?
We're in
The Rohr
Michigan.
family. You're in Michigan. Okay.
I'm in
Well,
New
how about
Jersey.
right.
Christy's in New Jersey. Okay.
And-
Okay. Well, I already told you I'm in California. So
Yeah.
it's early here. It's getting close to bedtime where you guys are.
That's why
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had
Yeah,
it so we
yeah,
could,
that's why we had it a little bit late so we could cover the whole thing. Yeah.
All right, so give me 2 more minutes because I want to talk to you about the
Oh,
Gridget
sure.
widget bot.
Sure. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Gridget the widget bot.
Yep.
So you said you have a demo token or something. I saw that you guys sell tokens.
Yeah,
I'll probably
let's
just
go
go
through
ahead and
this.
buy the package.
Nope, I'll show you.
Since I'll save $15 if I do it tonight before midnight your time, right?
That's true. That is true.
So I
It
have like
is.
2
Yeah.
hours and 52 minutes to do that.
So,
So
okay, if
maybe I'll
you want,
try out the token and go ahead.
do you want
Go
to share
ahead.
your screen?
Sorry.
Oh, because you're gonna walk her through it, Joe?
I mean,
Not because you're trying to
Yeah. I mean,
see.
the amount of people in here, it's
yeah,
not
Rachel, you can
exactly.
stop recording now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
okay,
we can cut the video. I'll have to
okay.
edit the
Bye
last
bye.
10 minutes out, but.
Yeah, you guys can bail.